Hi everyone, so my name is Corinne Bishop and thanks so much for coming through to my page. I just want to excuse the way I look at the moment, but this video I am recording during lockdown. Yeah, taking my work online, and I've lost my front tooth, can't get to the hairdressers. So anyway, I just want to get that out of the way, get that clear. So I usually look a lot more presentable than this, but this is the way it is at the moment. So anyway, thank you for coming through to my page, and I want to just tell you and share my story with you. If you're going through infertility issues at the moment, I really know how that feels, and I want to share my story to let you know that there is hope. The name of my membership site is the One Good Egg, because I truly believe that as long as you are ovulating, all it takes is one good egg. Okay, that's all it takes. All right, you want one baby, you need one egg. Okay, so I really hope that gives you hope. And I know that when I felt that I didn't have any hope, that thought really carried me through. So yeah, so my issue started well, we had a first child, and I didn't really have any crazy problems there apart from a traumatic birth, and my son being taken to special care because it was quite traumatic. But all in the end, we were all fine, and that was great. Yeah, my next pregnancy unfortunately ended in a miscarriage. Um, and my body never let me know. This is why I call it a miscarriage. If you haven't heard of it, your body still carries on as if you're pregnant. So I went for the scan, thinking that all was well, and there was no heartbeat. And this was the start of my tragic story, basically, and all of my upset in dealing with all the emotions that went with this, and getting, really, why didn't I know? Why didn't I know that this was happening? Why did I carry on telling the world that I was pregnant? It was a real kick in the teeth, and something I didn't know how to deal with. And Yeah, I didn't really deal with it. I pushed it deep down, left it. Let's get on with it. Let's just get on with life and get back on the horse as it is, and let's have another baby. But unfortunately, it wasn't that easy because it took way over 12 months to be able to conceive again. It did happen in the end, and I was over the moon, of course, but of course a little nervous because of what had happened before. So the hospital arranged for an early reassurance scan, but unfortunately, all I was reassured was that the same thing had happened again, and I found out a bit earlier this time. Once again, no heartbeat. Once again, my body never let me know, never let go. This, of course, entailed surgical intervention, to help free my body of the fetus, and quite a traumatic, emotionally traumatic thing, and especially when it's the second time around, because it really is a twist of the knife in the wound, basically, taking all that time to fall pregnant again, and for the same thing to happen again. It was just like, oh my God, what is happening? And I was in my late 30s, very late 30s. My mother's periods had totally stopped by the age she was 40, and she hit menopause early, and it was in my feminine line for early menopause. So it was something I was really worried about, and really, really felt the pressure to conceive this child before it was too late. And what if it took over another year, and what if the same thing happened again? Well, it did take over another year, but before that, I was with the fertility clinic that were offering me lots of help, and I went on some fertility boosting drugs, just like Clomid, things like that, and tried lots of different things, basically. And the head fertility expert doctor basically said to me, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen without IVF, and that is your only hope. Now, back then, this was probably in the range of £8,000 to £9,000 with no guarantee that it would work. So several rounds could be needed. Quite a stressful experience to go through IVF, where your body is going to be pumped with lots of different steroids and drugs, and just a really tough experience, which I would have gone through, but it was totally the expense factor at the time. We did already have a child, obviously, so we wouldn't have got any help in this, and we didn't have the money, so it was a definite no. It was something that we couldn't afford. So me and my husband discussed that we would just be happy with what we've got. We're happy with our lot, and move forward with that. This feeling that this would be it for the rest of my life, and that I would only have that one child, and I would never ever replace that loss, that hole that was missing. I mean, it's bad enough to never have that child, but to try and to never get there, and then to try and succeed and lose, it just left this hole, this empty void that nothing else was going to fill in my life. So it really made me stand up and say, yeah, my body's ovulating. My body is ovulating. I can do this. I can do this. I've done it before. I'm ovulating. I'm releasing eggs. All it takes is one good egg. I can do this. So this was my whole thing. So I researched on a physical level how to get my body into optimum physical condition, and really nourished, and nutrition and everything like that to have my optimum health and producing the best eggs that there could be. So and it only takes 3 months as well to really change the health of that egg. Like if you're trying to get pregnant, to take folic acid 3 months prior, because it takes that 3 months for it to really get into your system. So I researched this, and I put all of these details into a book, my ebook called The Fertility Diet, and I lived by this. I just, anything that was healthy and full of vitamins that come from the ground and seeds, and really fresh, real foods to nourish my body, and also to cleanse my body, because another physical factor that can stop you from falling pregnant easily is if you have any kind of yeast kind of infections, or candida, or if you suffer from thrush, or anything like that. And if you have lots of unhealthy gut bacteria, or if you suffer from sort of IBS and things like that, this can sort of really sort of clog and stop that process from easily happening. It's quite a big process for the sperm and the egg to actually make that baby. So it needs to be as clear and as flowing as possible. So I cleansed my body, I detoxed my body. I went for all of that. So you can look into researching how to do that, or you can get my book, which will tell you all about it. And so that was the first thing. So that was how I worked on my body, basically. And I also made sure that I took regular exercise. Nothing crazy, nothing strenuous, just keeping my energy moving, keeping my circulation flowing, getting that blood pumping around my body, just being really, really healthy. And so the next thing to look at is our mind. Where was my mind? Okay, my mind was still mourning the loss. My mind was still pretty negative about what had happened. So I really had to clear this, and NLP processes really help to clear these thoughts, because 95% of our thoughts are actually subconscious. And I'm an NLP therapist, so I understood all of this. Often we don't do it on ourselves, though we can help other people, but we become our own block, we become our own blind spot. But I did really seek help to work on my blind spots, and to really bring my subconscious thoughts into my conscious so that I could change them. So I really worked on my mental well-being and that aspect of it. And of course, and that really affects your emotional well-being, because your emotions come from your thoughts, and your emotions then affect how you feel and what you're putting out there into the world. So my emotions, I realised, were also quite negative, but I was in the loss, I was in the lack, kind of, what I didn't have in my life. I had my group of friends at the time. There was a baby group, which I started going to when my son was a baby. So all of my group of friends that I saw every single day and that I surrounded myself with, they'd all were on their second babies or their second pregnancies. And every time another one of them would announce that they was having a baby, and of course some of them were also having a baby due the same time that both of my previous losses were. So I felt that loss every single day when I was around them, that the fact they had their children or they had their bumps and I didn't. And it was this real, when's my turn? What's going to happen to me? I was in that lack kind of mindset and emotional distress a lot of the time. So I really looked at changing that. And then the final piece, the spiritual part, I had to really believe that it was going to happen to me, because that's the spiritual side of it, is that there is more to us than just our minds and our bodies, that we are energy, that we are vibration, and we can only attract to us what we are a vibrational match for. So I had to believe, and I had to totally let go. Trying for a baby works in the opposite way that anything else works in your life. Most things, if you want that promotion, if you want this, if you want that, if you want to get fit, you can work at it. You can work harder and harder. And the problem is, having a baby, it doesn't work like that. You have to surrender. You have to let go. And so it was that whole letting go and believing energetically that if I handed it over to the universe and surrender into the universe, that it would come back to me. That was the final piece of the puzzle. And all of these fit in together, all of these connect, then it will work, because my body had to be clear, my mind had to be clear, my emotions had to be clear, and my spirit and my vibration had to be clear. And when all of these were clear and all of these were fully aligned, so no doubt, no kind of things out of alignment, when it was fully aligned, then basically that soul that I wanted to call into my body to carry had the space to come in. Because also, if you're feeling desperate, you are pushing it away from you. So any kind of desperation, oh my God, I need this, or this is never going to happen, it's like a magnet, it will repel. So I really had to be clear on all of these levels, and that's something that is really difficult to do by yourself. And I did have to seek help for this. I had to seek help. Like I say, we become our own blind spots, even though I do this work. And for me, when I look back now, that whole period of time was such a revelation for me. It was the peak of my spiritual awakening, when I really realized how energy works and how I become to really step into that. I'd always been a holistic therapist, a body worker, but how I really stepped into that energetic side of it and fully understood that we are all energy, and that we need to embody that. We need to understand that we're more than our physical bodies and our minds. We are energetic spiritual beings, and we need to fully encompass that into our life to get what we want. I've created my own therapy, which I carry out now, which I mainly help people to really to release any trapped feelings that are blocking their way, and mainly pain is a big sort of, if you've got pain in your body, it's a flag up that something's out of alignment, that something needs needs looking at. So I deal with a lot of pain and illness and disease in people, but also the fertility, because fertility problems are always, when you unravel it, emotionally linked. There's something on an emotional level that isn't clear, that needs healing. It's like with me, the traumatic birth that I hadn't dealt with. I just buried these feelings deep. I hadn't spoke about, I hadn't released. They'd become trapped, and this big ball of unresolved feelings then just becomes a subconscious block, because we have to remember that our subconscious is only ever there to protect us. It's only ever there to protect us. So if something happens, it's a little bit scary, so say a traumatic birth, and obviously the instances of then the miscarriages and the surgical intervention and all the upset that went with that was my subconscious going, oh no, we're not going there again. And it becomes a subconscious block, an energetic block, that then that baby can't make its way in. That clarity, that alignment isn't there. So it's on all of these levels that we have to heal to make that open and to make that space. And as I say, that's what I done. But I did seek help, and it was a massive awakening for me. People say, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you went through that," but it was like I needed to go through that. I needed to go through that to learn it, and to then be able to step fully into my mission, which my soul's purpose, which I totally believe is to help people who have trapped feelings that are blocking their way, and their body's letting them know through pain and through infertility, because this is my story. This is something I've overcome, so you can overcome it. So as long as you're ovulating, then it only takes one good egg, and you can do this. So listen to my story. There's a workbook that goes with this, and I'm going to help you to break down some of the things that have happened to you that might that may be why your subconscious is blocking this. Remembering again that our subconscious is only ever there to protect us, but we can sort of build a bit of a reason as to why this is happening, so we can work back through that. And I have got an online course and an online membership site where I take you through this life coaching and all of these elements, to really help you with this. But that is my story. If you want to learn more, then definitely get in touch, reach out. I'll be happy to help in any way. And look out for my membership site and all the things that I do. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy the womb activation meditation. That is really amazing as well, to get into that subconscious part of your mind. And I hope you enjoyed this story. I hope it gives you some hope, and working through the guidebooks. But please reach out to me if you have any questions at all. I am always happy to help. Take care. Goodbye.